G'day, how's it going? Last time that we caught up with each other, I built my first apartment and I'm hanging out there right now. But just down the road, because Square Enix have fixed up the bug with Mr. Zero winning bids, I got my first house in the same area here in the Lavender Beds. So let's rock on down and see what I've done with myself since this came through about 2.5, 3 days ago. I've been very, very busy. I've been crafting, I've been buying, I've been selling, I've been doing everything I can. And this is the place that I now call home. We're going to have a look around the outside first. This is a nice area and it's a nice house. We've got a little chimney there, a couple of extra things. Fence wise, I didn't like any of the fences, so I supplemented the original fence with trees and bushes and things to give me a nice closed in private feel. You can see we've got a couple of trees up the front here that frame the entrance to the house quite nicely. And we're going to look around the backyard for now. The all-important growing patch, baby. I'm finally putting together crops that require crossbreeding. Hallelujah. So yeah, you can see on the side here, I think it looks really nice. I think it looks better than any of the fence options I tried out, to be quite honest. So don't be scared to go au naturel on the fence and do something with it. I did max out my item count on the yard. You're only allowed, I think it's 20 items in the yard for a small house. So yeah. Got my chocobo stable. You can see little bin chicken is stabled up and he's training hard. Crafted up some beautiful ornaments here, and now I'm sure some professional people would know how to glitch this little landing over to the side so I get a better view, but this is a no glitch walkthrough. Nothing in this house, interior or exterior, is glitched. This is something that anyone new to the game can do because hey, I'm relatively new and I did this. I did look over some tutorials, but to be honest, they're information overload and it'll come. I think by the time I graduate to a medium, perhaps I might be getting into that stuff, but for now, I've concentrated on just creating a beautiful, relaxing, high quality, scenic area without having to resort to any funny stuff. And I think it's worked reasonably well. So you can see the outside of the house and the surrounds are really nice, in my opinion. And now we enter what I've done here. So a small house is on 2 levels. A lot of people that glitch and carry on sacrifice a level and max their item count to get bigger features. But I concentrated on creating a number of small, highly detailed spaces instead. So I wanted a different theme this time. We're going with a lot of marble. We've got marble floors, we've got marble archways and partitions. I've used the dyes to the best effect I could, and we've got a space that looks really livable. I mean, the Warrior of Light could live here. The wall surrounds I've used with all of the greenery may seem a bit naive, and yeah, okay, I could see that. It's not quite as sophisticated as some setups, but hey. Now I play samurai and I play bard, so here's a place where you can throw your stuff when you get home from a role play point of view, and then get your stuff mended, grab your gear, and of course the help has to have, you know, a reasonable place to stay, so I had to make it look reasonable, but they're slightly out of sight. And after you've dealt with the help and cleaned everything up and chucked your gear off, and it's time for your bath. So, you know, I think it's a natural, from a role play point of view, a natural sort of idea here. You've got all your services in one place, which is out of the way from the living area of the house, because, you know, you don't want the help on display. I mean, come on. So we've kept some of the themes that I had before. Of course, I do like to read quite a bit, and we've got some bottles strewn about there. Well, I've got to admit, I've been having a few bottles tonight while I've been putting together this walkthrough, so there are no lies being told. And, oh, good old Limsa. Nice little entryway to the stairwell. The whole Japanese ideal of paying attention to a series of small spaces really does help you out when you're designing your house, if you keep that in mind, in my opinion. So that's something. Now, this I was really proud of. I made this up on the fly, and this whole aquarium room, water feature room, I think worked really well. And this is where the whole Turquoise and Time theme starts to come in on the bottom floor. I divided the bottom floor up into two separate rooms. That way I could take advantage of the very hard to craft chandelier I put in, which I split in two, and a nice use of greenery, and a nice use of the water features and some extra light features, something different. I didn't want to repeat myself, what I did in the apartment. This is completely different, and making it up as I went along, I thought this seemed to work. This seemed to work really well. The aqueduct with the indoor pond with the fish tanks and the light sources. I didn't want to cover this wall in pictures. The one upstairs is covered in pictures. Why would you repeat yourself? And the leather lounges and the colouring, it's just a completely different feel. So each room I've tried to make different. Now this is my homage to the manor, Hawk Manor, which is a dungeon that I really love. And all the furnishings from the Hawk Manor just works so well with me. I've got a bit of a gothic sensibility, so I really played on that quite well. It meant I had to farm the Hawk Manor really hard for fine wax. I think I had to run it something like 20 times to get the materials to craft this stuff. But hey, labour of love and all that. And once again, this might seem quite naive and simple to players who are a bit more sophisticated. There's no glitching, there's no creating of loft spaces and depressed spaces, but each room has got its own feel, each room has got its own purpose, and almost from a role-play point of view, I think you could make this sort of work if you wanted to talk your way around it. And the whole blue and green theme, blue and green, you may have gathered, are my favourite colours. So you're definitely seeing perhaps an overuse of that here, but, you know, it worked for me. I mean, this took me perhaps 2.5 days of flat stick crafting, gathering, buying, selling, anything I couldn't craft myself, like anything about level 86 or so, or anything that has to gather from the Endwalker areas after Garlemald. I can't access yet because I'm not that far along in the MSQ. I had to buy that stuff, but I did okay. Anything mid-level, I crafted extra versions and sold those. Like I crafted extra fish tanks and sold them, extra orchestrions and sold them, so on and so forth. Toria logs, there's a great market for that. So I didn't lose out too much, you know. Maybe I'm 1 million gil down for the whole effort. And yeah, this is her. So 3 days later, and about a month and a bit later, after waiting for the bug, I finally got to do it. This is my first house, and I'm quite proud of it. Please let me know what you think. I really enjoyed doing this, and it is open to the public, so feel free to come in and tour. I'd love people to drop by. I'll see you all. Coit out.